Hello there, it's Jen Edge here. I'm talking to you today all about sleep and how can you improve your sleep and also to become aware of whether you're actually having issues with your sleep. A lot of people think that just because they sleep through or that they sleep long hours that they're getting enough sleep and the problem is it's not about quantity, it's about quality of sleep. Yes, you also need to have enough sleep, but you have to make sure when you are sleeping that it's quality sleep as well. So I wanted to ask you a few questions. Are you someone that wakes up sometimes all the time or just sometimes? Do you wake up feeling still fatigued? Do you actually wake up feeling tired and finding it hard to get out of bed in the morning? Do you find it hard to stay awake during the day? Maybe you're someone that needs a bit of a pick-me-up. Maybe you're reaching for a caffeinated beverage or some food, especially later in the day, and craving carbs, in that afternoon sort of slump time. Have you ever noticed that, would you agree that there are people who seem to sleep really well and they have all this energy and they're able to focus and they're in a good mood, not all the time, but more often than not, they're able to take on all of those things in their daily life and have all this energy and focus. And there are other people who are not like that at all and just seem to just sort of sleepwalk almost through each and every day and struggle to really get that quality sleep and then be able to actually live life each day to the optimal level. So if for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Jen Edge and I'm a results coach or a life coach if you want to, depending on which day of the week it is, whether you want to call me a life coach or a results coach. But basically I help people get better results in the area of health in particular and well-being. So helping people to boost their energy levels, helping them to address some health issues that they might be dealing with. Now, I'm not a doctor, I am a physiotherapist and an exercise scientist, but I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist, but I help you to potentially seek out people and support you through making changes, lifestyle changes that can help you to live a happier, healthier life and go out there and do more of what you want to do. Because we don't want to be spending a lot of our time at doctor's surgeries or appointments for our pain or injury, whatever we're dealing with at the time, spending our hard-earned money on all of those sorts of appointments or medication or gadgets or supplements that may not even be doing what they're supposed to, what they say they do. So I just want to implore you to take and help people. This is what I love to do, is help people to take responsibility and feel more empowered to actually step up and make those changes in their lives that's going to help them to live the life that they actually desire. So today we're going to be talking about your sleep and how your sleep habits are actually impacting on your energy levels and also just your ability to function at optimal during the day. So there are many issues when it comes to sleep and quality sleep, but there are three main issues that I've seen over the years. And this is partly as a coach, also as a physiotherapist, and just as a human being. I see people sort of dragging themselves through each day and not having the energy that they want to actually get through the day and get what they want to get done, actually get it done. So the three things are looking at the problems that people come up against when they're wanting to actually have the energy that they want, have the level of health that they want, is that their current state of health is getting in the way. Okay, so obviously that's could be many issues going on there. They could have lots of things happening. It might be one or two things that they need to address. And sometimes we don't know how to address them. And sometimes we don't even know that there's something going on. The body is actually really good though at giving us signs that it's not happy, that it's not in this state of equilibrium or balance. All the systems of the body are constantly trying to bring your body back into a state of what we call homeostasis or equilibrium or balance. And all of those systems are working together. And the thing is, you can't fight that. You can't fight your own biology. And sleep is a necessary part of your biology. Every human being has to sleep, right? And it's a really important part of our day, of those 24 hours each day. And making sure that you get good quality sleep is key. So current state of health is a big issue. And what I also want to point out there as well is that when you have pain or when you have symptoms or when you have an illness or even a lifestyle disease or something like that, I want you to, instead of thinking that your body is betraying you by, it's really bad because I've got this problem or I've got that problem or I've got that pain. Instead of getting frustrated and angry, try and become more curious and understanding and asking questions. Why is my body giving me this sign? It's a clue. The body is very intelligent, and it's up to us to actually become curious and start to try and ask questions to figure out what is it trying to tell me. It's like trying to be a detective or investigator and of your own body and understanding what is it trying to tell me, and then trying to find the solutions. Getting professionals, getting coaches, getting doctors, getting allied health professionals to try and help you figure out what the best solutions are for you. And I'm not a big fan of just going on to, say, a medication or doing something like that, but actually looking at what are the things in my life that I can change? What are the things in my health that I can change, that I have control over, rather than giving my control over to someone or something else. So looking at my lifestyle habits, looking at my habits of stress, looking at, am I exercising regularly? Am I sleeping well? Do I eat good quality food? What's my mindset like? What are my beliefs? All of these things. What is my mood like most of the time? Is it well regulated? So looking at all of these things and understanding that they all contribute to your overall health and well-being and happiness. And looking at those things and understanding that addressing one or all of those things will definitely help to improve whatever the symptoms are that you're struggling with. So the other thing that I notice around energy and poor sleep habits is exactly that. It's poor habits at bedtime, so leading to poor quality sleep during the night. So we have to appreciate that what we're doing during the day and also leading up to, in the evening time, is actually causing you to have potentially poor sleep, poor quality sleep. So we want to be able to look at those things and then be able to change. They're things you can change, right? You can change your habits. Some people think that it's easy to change habits and other people think that it's really hard. And that's just, again, that's a belief system that you can change because you've changed lots of things in your life before, and this is no different. And I've seen many clients do this in the past. When it comes to sleep, it really is just doing small little tweaks, small changes in your habits to get outstanding results over time. And then the other thing is also not prioritizing sleep, not understanding why sleep is so important and how much it actually impacts on your daily life and your ability to function at your optimal levels during every single day. So I just want to make sure I get this right. So I've in 2016, the University of Adelaide and the Institute for Sleep Health conducted a survey on behalf of the Sleep Health Foundation, and they found that a lot of Australians are either getting inadequate sleep in either duration or quality, and looking at the daytime consequences of that and how that shows up in their daily life. And they actually found that that it's really common in Australian adults to have these daytime consequences or negative effects of poor quality sleep or inadequate sleep. And they say that it affects between 33 and 45% of adults. Things like medical sleep conditions are actually becoming more common as well, with sleep apnea on the rise. And they've reported in 2016 it was 8%, but I have a feeling that that's going to be much higher now. 2019, another 3 years. Unfortunately, we haven't drastically improved our overall health. We're actually getting sicker, getting fatter, getting more tired, getting more run down, more lifestyle diseases. So I think sleep apnea is probably continuing to rise. And who hasn't been to their local pharmacist and seen a sleep apnea test or a sleep study that you can do, you can take it home, and that they're really pushing what we call CPAP machines that help people with sleep apnea. I know whenever I walk past a chemist, there is a sign out the front or inside the chemist now that's actually advertising for sleep apnea machines or sleep tests. The other thing is significant insomnia is what the survey found as well. So 20% of people actually suffer from significant insomnia. And 18% of adults actually have restless leg syndrome, which is pretty significant. And I know someone that has restless leg syndrome, and they suffer terribly with it, and it interrupts and it completely disrupts their sleep patterns pretty much every single night. And you can imagine how much that's going to then affect their ability to function each and every day. So the other thing is 63% of adults reported actually waking in the morning feeling unrefreshed. And also 65% reported having daytime sleep related symptoms as well. And we're going to talk about some of those symptoms in just a second. So what are the things, how do you know if you're a poor sleeper, if you have poor quality sleep? Well, the good thing is there is a really good subjective, you call it subjective questionnaire, sleep quality questionnaire that you can access on the internet. It's called the Sleep Condition Indicator, and it was developed by Colin Epsey, Professor of Sleep Medicine at the University of Oxford. And he's the co-founder of the sleep education app Sleepio. So if you go to sleepio.com, sleepio.com, you can actually take this sleep quality questionnaire, and then you can find out for yourself whether you actually are having issues with your sleep, whether you're sleep deprived, and then only after knowing if that's the case, all right, I think it's a great place to start developing awareness. Do I have poor sleep? Then you can actually start to change whatever it is that is in your way of you being able to actually sleep better. So let's have a quick talk about what the effects of poor sleep are. Well, if you're trying to lose weight, you'll actually have your weight reduction will actually slow down. So if you're trying to lose weight, you're going to struggle to lose weight if you're sleep deprived. And unfortunately, you're more likely to put on weight if you're sleep deprived as well. And there's a number of reasons for that. There are hormonal reasons, so the hormones that are released that help you to feel hungry or full are actually disrupted, and they're released from the body. They're disrupted, those levels are disrupted when you have sleep deprivation, and which is one of the reasons why if you are sleep deprived, you will actually crave more carbohydrates. Your body is trying to regulate itself. It is trying to regulate your blood sugar levels. It is trying to boost your energy levels, and this is the way it knows how to do it. Okay, it is just giving you those signals and understanding that that's just a symptom of sleep deprivation. The other thing is lack of energy as well. So this can lead to, as I said, trying to get energy from other sources. So things like caffeine, things like food as well, and generally they're going to be high carb or high sugar foods. And also it's not going to, when you have a lack of energy, you're not going to want to exercise. And as we know, it takes energy, takes motivation to want to go and exercise, but you don't have that energy, you don't have that motivation, and then you don't get the benefits from exercise, which actually can help you to sleep as well. So you can also have a lot more, I think, what I would call sort of harsh or critical or negative self-talk as well. That tends to change a lot of the self-talk when you are sleep deprived. You're harder on yourself, and also potentially harder on other people as well, more critical, because you're not able to have much compassion for yourself, or you don't show yourself much compassion, and that is reflected in your behavior towards others as well. It also weakens your immune system. So you can appreciate that if your immune system's not great because you're sleep deprived, then you're more likely to get sick as well. And then, obviously that's going to massively disrupt your life if you're continually or consistently getting sick. The other thing it does as well is because when you go into the certain sleep cycle, parts of the sleep cycle, which I'll talk about in a second, you actually get a large secretion of what's called HGH, or human growth hormone. And this is produced by your body while you're sleeping. This can help with lean muscle growth. So if you're, you don't, as we get older, especially women in particular, we will lose muscle mass, okay, lean muscle, more rapidly as we age. So, which is why it's so important to do strengthening exercises, not just cardio, but strengthening exercises. The muscles help to support the skeletal system, help to support your bones, so you can, as best you can, try and make sure that you've got good bone health, okay, and good bone strength as well. So building lean muscle, because if you're having poor sleep, and also if you're, as we age, the lean muscle is decreasing, okay. And the other thing is, HGH has anti-aging factors. So basically, you're going to prematurely age if you're sleep deprived a lot of the time. That's going to show up in many other places as well. So on your face, you look tired, bags under your eyes. Potentially, you're going to start looking older as well. The other thing it does is decreases testosterone in men. Now, men are already having a decreasing testosterone as they're getting older. So if you're also sleep deprived as well, then you're going to have a double whammy when it comes to decrease in testosterone. Sleep deprivation also reduces libido. I mean, how many people want to be intimate when they're feeling exhausted? If you're sleep deprived, I'd say not many. So you can see how that has that knock-on effect as well. Also, the ability to make good sound decisions, your ability to focus are affected as well. Your memory is affected as well. So, when you're trying to think of a word, and you're like, oh my goodness, like you're halfway through a sentence and you're trying to find that word. That could just be sleep deprivation, which is just pretty ridiculous that's one of the things that it can do as well. And obviously it affects your mood as well, right? So if you're tired, low energy, you might snap a little bit earlier than you normally would. You're going to have a low tolerance level, and your mood is not going to be particularly uplifting, or you're not going to be in a particularly good mood or friendly mood. So just looking at those things and appreciating that just sleep can have that effect on you. Poor sleep can have that effect on you. It can also cause higher levels of stress, anxiety, depression as well. Also contributing to pain, poor healing from injury, because sleep is necessary for the body to have that downtime, that healing time. So if you're not sleeping well, you're more likely to take longer to actually heal an injury, and also potentially you're going to be in more pain as well. Also, things like sleep apnea can actually lead to very serious and much more serious medical issues as well. So high blood pressure can lead to not guaranteed, but can lead to an increase in blood pressure, an increased risk of stroke, increased risk of heart attack, and also developing diabetes as well. So just by addressing your sleep, you could actually be reducing your risk of developing those diseases as well. So the other things that are affected as well is, as I said to you before as well, is you're more likely to go searching for things to try and give you energy. And the thing about having things like coffee, especially if you drink coffee before eating in the morning, or a caffeinated drink, that it can actually spike your adrenaline levels, right? So adrenaline is associated with stress in the body. Like when there's stress in the body will release more adrenaline. And we don't necessarily want to do that, because over long periods of time, if you are highly stressed, your body will be releasing higher levels of cortisol, okay? And when there's high levels of cortisol in your body, there are low levels of serotonin, which is that feel-good hormone. So high levels of cortisol, because of long-term chronic stress, will lead to lower levels of serotonin, which is that feel-good hormone. Now, the key is serotonin is basically turned into melatonin. I'm using cruder, not the scientific terms, but basically it's turned into melatonin at nighttime so that you can sleep. A lot of people I know are talking about melatonin nowadays, which is great, and there's a lot more awareness around it. So serotonin and melatonin have a very close relationship. But you can appreciate that if you have high levels of cortisol, you will have low levels of serotonin. And that will also mean that you cannot turn that much serotonin into melatonin, which will then interrupt your sleep cycles and then continue the poor cycle of health. Other things that it can also cause issues with your gut as well. Also endocrine issues as well. And I want to talk briefly about the autonomic nervous system. I know I'm getting a little bit sciencey and wordy, but basically you've got two branches. You've got sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. When you are stressed or when you are on the go consistently, busy, you're in the sympathetic nervous system. And a lot of people, I think, and from my experience and what is showing up in research, is that a lot of people are falling into this sympathetic nervous system dominance. And this system, you should have a balance between the two. Unfortunately, a lot of people are in sympathetic nervous system dominance a lot of the time and activating that nervous system. What we want to try and do is activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you to rest, digest, repair, and relax. Okay? This is more the go, get stuff done. This is more quieten down, let the body rest, let it repair, let it process the food in our body, let it actually start to heal. Okay, if we don't get into this stage, then you're going to really struggle, and then you'll start to see it showing up in your body as well. So let me talk briefly about the I'm running out of time, my goodness. Okay, I might have to record another video because there's so much more information. Let's get straight into the tips then. Okay, so we've got five tips. Something really simple is avoid screens 1 hour before bed. Okay, couple of reasons. They stimulate your brain because you're potentially looking at something that's actually stimulating your brain. If you're reading things that are maybe that are intellectual, then you're stimulating your brain and basically working it more. What we should be doing is bringing the energy levels down, bringing the focus down, settling down the nervous system, and just relaxing as you start to prepare for bed. It's not work or stimulate right up until we actually go to sleep, because you can imagine that you're just asking your body to just switch off like that. And what's happening is when you're looking at something like your phone, your iPad, even the TV, you're actually exposing your eyes to blue light. And I know a lot of people are talking about blue light exposure nowadays and how bad it is for sleep. And the reason is because you're basically waking up your brain and telling it it's daytime. So it won't then allow melatonin to be released. It's going to stop that release of melatonin, which then interrupts your sleep cycle as well. And the most important stages of sleep are REM sleep and deep sleep. That's where the healing happens. That's where you're actually getting that processing through the body, and you're actually getting everything sort of normalizing and repairing and resting, and you're dropping into that parasympathetic nervous system. So avoiding screens an hour before bed. I would even go as far as to say do not have screens in your bedroom. And this can be really difficult for a lot of people, but I encourage everyone to do this. I think it's really important. I even cover up my alarm clock because it's quite bright in my eyes. So the next thing is creating a sleep cave. Okay, so you really want to create a beautiful, relaxing environment to sleep in. Comfortable bed, good quality mattress, making sure it's not too old, good quality pillow, making sure that you've got a good environment to sleep in, so it's not too hot, not too cold. They say that between 18 and 20 degrees is perfect. Making sure it's dark, okay? Not letting in especially artificial light. Again, it's just waking your body up. So making sure that it's dark, and then you're not having any stimulus coming onto even your skin. Your skin has photoreceptors, so your skin will not be stimulated by the light, and making sure that you're obviously keeping that as dark as you possibly can. Great thing is they've got blackout curtains now. You can just use those, cover up any other light in your bedroom as well. The other thing is just making sure that you don't take your work into your bedroom. Make sure that you've got maybe a couple of fluffy pillows or something that makes it feel and look a bit more comfortable. Soft lighting, nothing too bright that's going to feel like you're waking up again as you go in. Maybe some nice paintings on the wall or whatever it is that you like. Something that just helps you to feel relaxed and calm and ready for sleep. Okay. All right. The other thing is getting enough sunlight during the day. And one of the reasons for that is because vitamin D is essential for serotonin release, serotonin, I'm trying to think of the right word. Your body to make serotonin. I'm a bit sleep deprived at the moment because I can't think of the word. But for your body to make enough serotonin, you need vitamin D. They sort of work together as well, and then that turns into, or is what we call synthesized into, melatonin at night. So get vitamin D through sunlight. I know that skin cancer is a big issue in Australia, so don't necessarily go out in the middle of the day, and as it starts to get hotter, just be sensible. Go out in the morning, get some sunlight on. You have to try and get it on 40% of your body, so making sure it's more will be absorbed if it's on your long bones, so your arms and your legs, and as it starts to get warmer, we can do that, which is great. 20 minutes in the morning, and making sure that you get as much of that as possible. No sunscreen on those areas in the mornings, but I don't encourage you to go out in the heat of the day to get your sunlight. And also, a lot of people are now having to take supplements, so making sure that you get a good quality supplement. When we talk about supplements, I want to encourage you to get a supplement that is high quality, not just the middle of the line ones sold off the shelf at the pharmacy are probably not. In my experience, and when I've talked to my nutritionist and naturopath, that you're looking at trying to get something that is practitioner prescribed, okay? Something you need to ask the pharmacist for, or you need to go and see a practitioner for, so that you know it's going to be better quality than something that's off the shelf and it's a run-of-the-mill brand. So I'm not, I think melatonin, because it's made in the body, I wouldn't necessarily run out and just go and buy melatonin tablets. You have to get a prescription anyway nowadays for the good quality ones. But I would be looking at trying to encourage yourself for your body to actually produce melatonin by changing those habits during the day. So the next thing is addressing health issues. So making sure that you're exercising, try and exercise at the beginning of the day rather than the end of the day, because it can take up to 4 hours for cortisol to actually be reduced again in the body after exercise. You don't want to go and do something strenuous and then your body still humming and expecting you just to be able to switch off and go to sleep. Also, addressing any stress issues that you have. If you're highly stressed, that's going to be interrupting your sleep cycle and potentially causing other health issues as well. So really looking at addressing that as best you can. So talking to professionals, whoever it is that you need to talk to get some better stress coping strategies. Or saying no more often is a good strategy as well. No, don't take on as much responsibility, as many things on. So saying no to things in life so you don't get quite so overwhelmed. Addressing any weight issues as well, making sure that you're within a healthy weight range. Also, what you're eating is important and it can affect your sleep as well, and your breathing. So a lot of people who are mouth breathers will tend to have potentially have some other health issues. And this can be affecting your sleep quality as well. So looking at that, also just your quality of breathing. I mean, who knew that we don't breathe properly, that we have issues with breathing? But I've seen over the years many people who get tight up through here, or I can see that they breathe like this through their upper chest rather than actually using their diaphragm. So even having to basically relearn how to breathe properly. So the other thing is about food, a little bit more about food, is don't eat too close to bed, because your body will still be processing the food and sending a lot of energy to your gut to actually be processing the food, and that can disrupt that sleep cycle as well. So making sure that you eat some slower release carbs at night time. Otherwise, you can get an adrenaline spike if you don't eat a little bit of carbs at night. And that can disturb the sleep cycle too. So I hope that answers some questions for you. I hope that gives you some useful tips. If you do have any questions, please feel free to comment below or send me a DM. And you can find me at Gen Edge Coach, which is my Facebook page name, and I'd love to hear from you if you do have any questions. Otherwise, just leave them on the Dubbo Specialist and Rehabilitation Centre Facebook page. Now, I know there are going to be some questions around, potentially you might have some in your head around if you're a shift worker, if you've got young kids, if you're looking after anyone that, that's going to potentially interrupt your sleep cycles. And I can appreciate that it may be a little bit more challenging for you to be able to do some of the things that you need that will promote good quality sleep. But a lot of the time, I think it's thinking outside the box to come up with a solution that's going to help you, because finding a solution will help you to help you look after those people better, will help you to do that work better when you're going to your shift work. So finding solutions, I think it's easy to make up reasons why it's too hard, but I think it's better to try and find solutions, and you may need to talk to a health professional about that, or contact me. I'd love to hear from you and talk to you about it. Now, there's lots more, heaps more I could talk to you about, but my time is up. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you found this helpful and that you start to sleep more soundly by putting some of these things into place. As I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, comment, share, like, as much as you want if you found this useful. Okay, that's all from me for now, and someone will be, I think Ward Nutrition's with you guys on Monday talking about nutrition. Okay, bye for now.